calc homework. AP Calc, we're doing implicit differentiation. So we had on page 149. Numbers 1, 2, 3, and 9. All right, so question number 1. Question is 3y squared is equal to a negative 2x to the fourth, and we're trying to find dy dx. So when we take the derivative implicitly, this becomes 6y, and then dy dx is equal to negative 8x to the third power. Solving for dy dx, I'm going to divide both sides by 6y, and I get dy dx is equal to, reducing this by 2, negative 4 thirds, or 4x cubed over 3y. We're all done. Okay? We move on to question number 2. Question number 2 says we have y squared is equal to x cubed divided by 2 minus x. Okay, so we're going to have 2y dy dx is equal to, and on the other side of the equation we have the quotient rule. The derivative of the top, 3x squared times the bottom, 2 minus x, minus the derivative of the bottom, which is a negative 1 times the top, x cubed, all over the bottom squared. So I get 2y dy dx. Let me clean up the right side a little bit. Distributing the 3x cubed through, that's 6x cubed minus 3x to the fourth. And then this is going to be plus x cubed all over 2 minus x squared. So again, 2y dy dx is going to equal, I'm going to put the x cubes together, so that's 7x cubed minus 3x to the fourth divided by 2 minus x squared. And then I'm going to divide this by 2y to get dy dx by itself. When I divide by 2y, it's like multiplying by 1 over 2y, so the 2y is just going to go down here. So rewriting everything, dy dx is equal to 7x cubed minus 3x to the fourth. All that's going to be over 2y times 2 minus x squared. Okay, question number 3. Go back up to the top here. Question number 3 looks like this. We have y squared plus y equals 1 plus x over 1 minus x. Alright, the derivative of the left-hand side is not too bad. 2y dy dx plus the derivative of y is just dy dx equals, right-hand side is quotient rule. Derivative of the top is 1 times the bottom minus the derivative of the bottom, which is a minus 1 times the top, all over the bottom squared. So rewriting, actually I'm going to rewrite the left-hand side by factoring a dy dx out. That's going to multiply 2y and then plus 1. This is the, we got to remember to put the 1 in the spot if you're going to take the dy dx out, and it's the only thing in its spot. Equals, distributing the 1 through, you get 1 minus x. That's a plus 1. Distributing that through, you get plus 1 plus x over 1 minus x squared. So combining like terms here, basically the x's are going to cancel. So I'm going to be left with 2 over 1 minus x and then squared. And then we're going to have to divide this side by 2y plus 1. I divide this side by 2y plus 1, which means I'm just going to put it in the bottom. So final answer, dy dx is equal to 2 over 1 minus x squared, 2y plus 1. And we move on to number 9. Last question. Number 9 says we have x squared plus x squared y squared plus y cubed is equal to 3. Alright, taking the derivative of x squared, I just get 2x, we're done. Taking the derivative of this is the product rule. So the derivative of the first is 2x times the second, y squared, plus the derivative of the second, which is 2y, times the derivative of y, that's dy dx. So that's the derivative of second times the first, x squared, and we're done. Plus the derivative of y cubed, 3y squared dy dx is equal to derivative of 3 is 0. Alright, so what we're going to do now, when we start to get used to this problem, is any of the terms that have a dy dx in, if there's more than one term, we're going to look to isolate these on one side of the equal sign. So I'm going to move everything else over. So I'm going to subtract 2x and subtract 2xy squared from both sides. Alright, and that's going to give me a 2y x squared dy dx plus 3y squared dy dx equals then a negative 2x minus 2xy squared. I'm going to now take the common factor of dy dx, which leaves me with a 2x squared y here plus 3y squared here equals negative 2x minus 2xy squared. Now I'm going to divide this side by 2x squared y plus 3y squared. I do the same thing here. 2x squared y plus 3y squared. So dy dx is going to equal negative 2x minus 2xy squared divided by 2x squared y plus 3y squared.